Hey, it's Darryl Syms, and you were just listening to a song called Riot by Richie Kotzen. It's a song that he released about a week ago. If you don't know who Richie Kotzen is, definitely check him out, check this song out. It's an incredibly cool tune. He's a very talented guitar player. This is definitely going to be a challenge. If you feel like you need a tab to keep up with the tutorial, then check out my Patreon, which is linked in the description below. I got 4 pages worth here, the entire song, the solo, the whole lot. I spent a lot of time working on that and hope that some of you will benefit from it. With that said, let's crack on with the tutorial. Alright, so this song is in the key of B minor, and essentially the majority of it is just pentatonic scale based with heaps of chromatic notes. So let's start off with the intro riff. Now we begin with 4 hammer-on pull-offs. Pay attention to my right hand, by the way, as I do this. The first finger is sort of covering that upstroke and the thumb is covering the down. So we're going to start off on the 7th fret of the G, and we're going to go. Now in itself, that's already a good exercise to try fast. And then from here we have 2 more notes after. We have that there. And then another hammer-on big pull-off there. 2-4-2 note. Some more legato there. 2-3, 2-3, 2 note. Followed by a real fat E major chord. So altogether at a relatively medium speed we would have. And then after that we've got this little phrase before the main riff. It starts on the 16 of the G string. We're going to use our 3rd finger and use these to mute the other strings. And with this hand we're going to flick down like that. Sliding out, so these fingers are muting the rest. Then you're going to follow that with a slide to the 19 on the B, and then 19 on the E. And those notes will clash. Just like that. So that sets us off to a good start with the intro riff there. Let's now move on to the main melody before the verse. So we're going to play it around this B minor box shape here. And once up to speed. And then the next part sounds like this. And once again, pay attention to that right hand there. You'll notice I'm alternate picking that whole section, starting with an up. And then we're going to bring it up 2 octaves to the 17th fret on the E string here. And we're going to play a very similar phrase to what we've already done. Just a slightly different ending there. That's very quick, it should sound like this. And then we're immediately going to shift to the 10th fret on the B and E there with our little finger. And we're going to use our finger to go up, down, up. So and then another quick phrase there. There's a little bend there. If you can, give it as much vibrato as you can before immediately jumping into the next phrase, which is again just 1 octave up from the original pattern. Same kind of things going on here. So all of that is very quickly so far, and it leaves you almost no time at all to throw in any vibrato or even that little bend there in the middle, but try your best to add that because that's really what adds the flavor to the whole riff. After that we would have a big chromatic run, and I'm alternating between the thumb and the finger here, so watch carefully. We would have so that last note there, we're going to give a bit of vibrato and then tap harmonic on the 24th fret. Or as close to it as you can. I don't know if Richie actually does that. I mean, on the music video, he doesn't, but I feel like he does do it. If you listen carefully, it does sound like there's a tap harmonic in there. Either way, it's great fun. If you can do it, it sounds even cooler. Following that, we got more chromatics and a pull off to begin with here on the B string. And then and that sort of concludes all of those chromatics there. And notice at the end I flick down just as we did earlier. Very slow bend, some vibrato at the end there, before some kind of finger sweep picking, which is a very, very tricky part, but let's break that down. So we start off with this big stretch from the 20th, we're gonna pull off to the 14, so we would have, and then 16 on the B, 17 on the G, so you would have, and notice my finger use there, I'm going first finger, first thumb. So that's arpeggio 1 of 4, then we would have, so we go up a string, 19, 16, 17, 19. And already it would be good for you to try and combine those two, so try and develop your speed there. Following that we have 17, 14, 16, 17, so. And then the last phrase, we're going to get the second finger on the 14 of the B. This one's slightly different than the rest. We're going to pull off there. So 14, 16, pull off to 12, slide to 9. And then we're going to slide back into 14 on that string. Okay, and watch my finger and thumb. So I use the first finger and then the thumb. And that's all one phrase. And then the hammer-on sort of pattern there. And then you're gonna put that first finger on the 12, flick up with the first finger and bend that 15 on the B, and you would get that clash. So, all together. And there you have it, that's the whole of the intro melody there. I'm going to play all of that to a sort of medium speed for you to try and follow along with before you attempt it with the song. Let's give it a try. So let's go from the part after that E chord. So here we are with our thumb on the top. 3, 4. Hopefully you managed to follow along with that. After that you have the verse, of course, which you'll take just little parts of what we just played and play that throughout. And then of course towards the end you have that epic solo, which I haven't learned yet, but I will very soon. I haven't had time to, and then I'll post that in a cover. Maybe I'll do a tutorial on it, maybe I won't. But if you want to get a head start on that, then as I said, check out the tabs on my Patreon where all of that's written down. And the most important thing that you can take away from this lesson, which isn't necessarily annotated on the tabs, is which finger or thumb to use. You're always going to use one of the two. Sometimes Richie does use the second finger, but for the majority of the intro there, you don't need to, just thumb and finger all the way. So once you've got the notes down, rewind to that part where I played it at a medium speed and focus on this hand over this hand. Take it as slow as you need to. Use the built-in YouTube slow down feature down here. Best of luck learning this. If you manage to do it, then post a video on Instagram, tag me at Darryl Syms. I'd love to see. I'll be sure to give it a like, comment, all that stuff. And until next time, I will see you in the next video.